Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the morning briefing here on Friedman Adventures. It is great to be back with you all this morning. Man, I'll tell you, there is so much going on, and I can't wait to bring you every single moment of it. Great to be with you. I'm telling you, there's some incredible stuff going on, including baiting swordfish. There's a lot of marlin around. The water's warm. There's Dorado, yellowtail. It's really exciting stuff. And if you thought the Channel Island white sea bass bite was a thing of the past, think twice. That bite is still going strong when the boats are able to get out and fish it. I'll have details on that and a lot more. Hey, a friend of mine, Alan, was on board the Legend, and as they were clearing Point Loma last night, they came across a boat that was floating aimlessly, had nobody on board. It was a sailboat, so they called the Coast Guard, and the Coast Guard got on that. It delayed their trip a little bit, but hopefully that good karma is going to come back to them. And how about this photo? I just had to share this with you before we get started. Captain Sean Hardigan of the Mission Belle preparing bluefin tuna, and Scott Buchert right there doing such a great job vacuum sealing bluefin tuna. Buchert, my hat's off to you. What a great job you're doing here this morning. And also Peter Grosbeck, who is a guy that has so much knowledge about fishing, and more specifically albacore. Like, his knowledge is way up here and mine is way down here. He shared this photo from up north where a guy had a salmon and an albacore on the very same trip, and as Pete points out, how often do you see this kind of a photo? And he's 100% right. All right, good morning, everybody. It is really great to be back with you all. Little blip of wind in the forecast, not anything that is going to be of any consequence. Up in the Channel Islands, you're going to have some wind throughout the week, off and on up in that neck of the woods. I don't know why the wind gods are doing what they're doing this year, but somebody's got to send them a memo and say it's almost fall and we're not supposed to get any wind here in Southern California during that time. All right, as usual, let me start you out down there with our dear friends, our queridos amigos down in Ensenada. The Pongero fleet still fishing kelp patties, and if you find the right kelp, you get well in a hurry. And it seems like some of the bites here recently have been even more voracious. The fish come off and they are biting everything you throw at them. So Pongeros down that way are trolling around with the Mad Mac lures, still coming up with some bluefin tuna down in that neck of the woods, but a lot of focus now on that offshore stuff. And there's marlin zooming around down there. As I mentioned, the native son, he baited a swordfish, saw marlin. I mean, it's really crazy what's going on, and we just see all this anchovy just about everywhere, and fish are feeding on that anchovy. And you know, I don't know if the fish are full sometimes when you roll up on them, or they're just on that anchovy and you're throwing a different bait at them. But in some circumstances it's wide open, other circumstances you can't get a bite from the darn thing. So it's kind of mixed up the way it is right now. The Legend, as I mentioned, out fishing now. Hopefully they're going to come up with some good fishing. The Condor has already reported in, and they've had some nice Dorado here recently, but they've got limits of yellowtail early here today. Beautiful calm seas down the Baja coast this morning, and if you find that right kelp patty, it is magnificent. If you don't, hey, figure it out. You know, you can have a slow trip, but most of the trips are pretty darn good right now. In fact, the Tribute shows us, hopefully, a sign of things to come, and maybe it's ready to go. 50 yellowfin tuna, good bite. Those YFTs are small for the most part, 5 to 12 pounds. That's being a little generous. There's a few bigger fish, but a lot of it's small, but they're yellowfin tuna. They're starting to bite a little bit better, and hopefully it's a sign of things to come. You know, when fish move into an area, first of all, they seem to kind of be lost. Like, they're looking around and trying to figure it all out. Where's first of all, our food? Does this feel good to me? The water temperature? And okay, I'm going to camp out and eat here for a little while. And that's a good sign on the Tribute. They also had, of course, some good Dorado fishing with 45 Dorado and yellowtail. So that same mix of fish on those kelps down there. And they had the fish eating the heavy stuff. Scott Buchert the other day was on the T-Bird. He had the same thing. They were eating the 80 pound on that. So we always recommend fluorocarbon, but on that kind of a trip, you just don't need it, okay? You don't need it. They're biting everything you throw at them, but you never know what the next kelp is going to bring. So you hit a kelp that's wide open, then you hit one that's finicky, picky, and it's good to have that fluoro. 25 to 40 pound, good way to get it done right now. 10 to 20 size hooks, good way to get it done right now. And of course, www.optionusa.com. Put in FA at checkout. You'll get a free gift from my friend Greg Brown. That is such a good way to do it. But when you hit those kelps where they're biting everything, 50 pound, 60 pound, 40, 50 size hooks, you can go right up the ladder and do really, really well on that kind of a situation. So, you know, the San Diego fleet, as I've mentioned, they're fishing these kelps a lot, but so are the LA Orange County based boats. Many of them are heading down. Chef Jason with a nice Dorado on board the El Dorado, as they had some good fish. Thunderbird checking in with 100 plus. And I don't want to lose my enthusiasm for this. 100 plus. That's great fishing. Mixed Dorado, yellowtail, some yellowfin tuna, some bluefin tuna mixed up with it. Multi-day trips like the Amigo, and he's on a 2.5 day trip right now with my friend Ernie Montano. Ernie's out there. I don't have the details, but Ernie's stoked because he's got some really big bluefin tuna on the boat right now. Ernie Jr., check him out. Beautiful bluefin tuna on board the Amigo. They're fishing 24 hours a day. Nighttime bluefin tuna fishing, daytime kelp patty fishing. Can't get any better than it is. Good reason. Looking at the size of these giant tuna, pride's all over. Some big tuna also. Good reason to bring 2-speed reels with that 100 to 130 pound outfits, because I'm telling you, you're going to have to put the screws to those things. So make sure you're tackled up properly and have some heavy stuff if you are indeed jumping on just about anything. As I mentioned, if you're heading up to the high Sierras, bring your 2 speeds and 130 pound. There's bluefin tuna literally everywhere. You can find it just about anywhere you look. It's pretty darn exciting stuff. So kelp patties still producing if you find that right kelp patty. The San Diego with 31 yellowtail, 9 Dorado, a little bit slower day for them. Same thing on board the Grande. Those are 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. trips. They picked away at a little bit of fish. Grande, 36 guys, 36 Dorado, a bluefin, 21 yellowtail. And now we're talking about that like it's a slow trip. That's still a very good trip. And of course, a week from tomorrow, we'll be on board the Malihini, and I cannot wait to see my friend Bill Wilkerson, who runs the boat, the great crew on the Malihini, and all of you who will be attending with us. That should be really a lot of fun. If you're heading out on that trip, bring your fluorocarbon, but we will have some Option fluorocarbon available for you all on that trip. 10 to 20 size hook. Take your time and choose a really good hot bait. It makes all the difference in the world if you do that. So take your time and do that, and I will guarantee you a bite on this trip. Fingers crossed. Can't wait to see Dino. I'm not even going to start mentioning people because I'm going to leave somebody out. Can't wait to see you all on board that great trip. That is Friday. If you go into the show description today, there's a link that you click on. You can book, and I'll see you on board the Malihini. I'll be shooting photos and videos on that great trip. So things still looking very good down there. Weather looks great. I don't think that's going to be a problem. And if that yellowfin tuna wants to join the party, if that's not an anomaly over there on board the Tribute, and it's a sign that this is getting ready to go, that could only add to the variety and the fun on these great trips. So fingers crossed on that one. Boats out of, let's say, LA Orange County area that are on those 6 a.m. to, or like a full day trip, 12-hour trip, even less than that, are able to get on this fish. Hopefully we're going to see more of that. There's still a lot of Dorado on the kelps off Dana, and the boats out of there are still getting a piece of that. The other day, the Freelance had a magnificent trip with 83 Dorado locally. That's all in our future. That is all looking very, very good. All right, islands. Nobody's interested in them unless you're fishing, of course, for bluefin tuna. Todos Santos down there off Ensenada, Yellows, Barracuda. As we move you up to the Coronado Islands, there's some really good yellowtail fishing going on in that neck of the woods. A little bit of Barracuda and also some calico bass. Clementi, there's yellows there, sea lions, all throughout that region. But you can pick off 20, 30 yellows in a day there at SCI with great calico bass fishing. And then up there at Nicholas and Santa Barbara, There's still some breezy situation, still some good sea bass fishing going on. In fact, as I get you up into the Channel Islands, you thought the sea bass bite was over. It's August. They've had such incredible fishing up there all year long. If you want to look for sea bass, you can still catch them in the epicenter of white sea bass fishing, the Channel Islands. It has been great, and it's still going on. 22 guys on the Mirage, 46 white sea bass, a halibut to go along with it. Come on! That is some great fishing for August. That is some great fishing for any time of the year. And the Channel Islands, man, they have been blessed with such great fishing. They not only have all that rockfish all the time, but they've had just incredible sea bass fishing. They've also got Santa Barbara Island on the backside there, Osborne Bank, and other areas where they have in their range bluefin tuna. Wow, I mean, that place still going along very, very good. Ventura Sport Fishing is a great place to do some of your fishing. 805-676-3474. Tell Saul or whoever answers the phone, Phil Friedman says hello. And if you get a chance to run into Tucker on the Endeavor, give him my very best. Nobody does it better. Nobody fishes harder up there out of Ventura Sport Fishing. Along the coast, well, I tell you, a lot of guys are peeking offshore now because the coastal bite this year has been, you know, it's had a few little spurts, but it's been pretty darn slow. So we're looking at some bass down there in Ensenada. La Bufadora, that whole Puna Bond is still biting very, very well. Pongeros that hit that are doing good up there around San Diego. The Premier and some local boats with some okay calico and sand bass fishing. Not bad at times, especially if you as an angler are getting tough, dropping down to 12-pound fluorocarbon, choosing a good hot chovy. You're going to get bit every single time when you do that. You get tough like that. When I say get tough, drop your line down, drop your hook size down, and choose a good hot bait. That'll make all the difference in the world to your success. And then we move you up into, you know, off Dana, Long Beach, San Pedro. There's some decent bass fishing, a lot of shorts. Private boaters doing much better that want to focus on that. Most private boaters are heading offshore. And then as we move you up into the Santa Monica Bay, and all these guys sculpin, rockfish, that kind of thing. Same thing up there, a little bit of bass, that kind of thing. Up there in the Channel Islands, still an occasional flurry on the Barracuda for the Island Spirit and Cody Rogers. A little bit of bass up there and rockfish to fall back on as usual. In the surf, there's a lot of Corvina right now, and you want to fish that light line and, of course, natural baits when you're fishing for Corvina. They don't bite lures all that well, but just about anywhere. It's gorgeous. By the way, I don't know behind me if it's still going on, but when I walked down here, white birds were picking right up here on the beach. I mean, that's an instant bite, man. You see that, you're throwing a 3/4 ounce chrome crocodile, and you are going to hang a yellowfin croaker, a halibut, something's forcing bait up here. Got a grunion run coming, so it could be that they're the pre-stage of the grunion run, but whatever it is, back there, you see those white birds picking, that's a good sign. John from Island Fishing Tackle is hooked on surf fishing all of a sudden, and I'm so glad because the Orange County Fair is almost over. Sunday is going to be my last day, and I've had such a good time meeting so many of you out there at the OC Fair, but Sunday's my last day, and I'm going to be hitting the surf, doing a lot more surf fishing coverage for all of you, and I'm going to get John and the guys from Island Fishing Tackle and hit this, as well as my friends over there at Big Fish Bait and Tackle. Really looking forward to that. We've got just a few charters left and a few spots open. August the 19th, Malihini down there out of H&M Landing. The link is in the show description. You're finished watching this, go in the show description, you'll see it right there. August 31st, 2 spots left on the Amigo 2-day trip, and man, if you've been dreaming about catching a giant tuna, this is your chance. If you've been dreaming about not only doing that, but hitting the kelps and catching all kinds of Dorado and yellowtail, man, I'll tell you, this is your chance. Now, some guys have been asking me, and I know you're tuning in, so I'll just answer this question out loud. They asked me, can you tell us where we're going on August the 31st? I probably can't tell you that on August the 30th. Everything is volatile. Everything is changing. The guys we fish with, like Mark Jr., on board the Amigo, are constantly getting intel in, are constantly making a change in their game plans. I know Sean on the Pride is that way. He's always gathering info. All these guys who are top-notch are gathering info. If it were today, I could tell you where we're going. But looking out anything over a couple days, I can take a pretty good guess and get you there. Bluefin, kelp patty fish, that's what I would tell you. But it's very difficult to tell you where we're going on August the 31st or in September. Two-day trips on board the Pride left. A lot of you want to fish the Pride. This is your chance, and you book early. I think that is still in play for a couple more days. You book early, and then you save some money. Two-day trips on the Pride, September and October. It's going to be one heck of a fall. I'm telling you that right now. All right, everybody. It's always great to be with you all. Thanks again for joining us here on Friedman Adventures for the morning briefing. In the very near future, we've got freshwater updates coming for you. Can't wait to do that. September the 10th, we'll be doing our Friedman Adventures podcast right there at Bass Pro Shops. You know where the big bass tank is? Well, that's where we're going to be at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Would love to see you all there. And of course, this Tuesday, another live show, and we'll keep the morning briefings heading your way. Thanks again, everybody. As always, it's a pleasure to spend some time with you this lovely, beautiful morning in Southern California. Can't get much better than this. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon.